A fantastic performance and an even better result as the Socceroos have defeated Vietnam 4-0 in a crucial World Cup qualifier down in Amy Park. This was a big game, an important game for the Socceroos. Not too many qualifiers left, and we're sitting in a bit of an awkward place in the group coming into this game. There were some players missing, of course, in the lineup. No Harry Sutar, we know about his injury, but some of the outs in this game, Aiden Hrustich not available through suspension, as is Beige, our usual left back, not involved. Joel King stepped up big time for this game. We dominated from the off, and there was an early opportunity. It was Tom Rogic, who scored apparently the first goal of the game within 20 seconds, ended up being ruled off due to an offside call. But from there, Socceroos, especially that first half, really dominated things, controlling possession, pushing Vietnam back. Credit to Vietnam, who really, we have to say, defended pretty well overall in this game. And we could have had 2 or 3, 4 more goals in this game. There were some moments throughout that first half where there were some wayward passes, just the attackers not linking up. A lot of play come through Tom Rogic. He was fantastic in this game. Absolutely bossed that midfield area. Matt Leckie on the left-hand side. Now, a lot of question marks around Matt Leckie in terms of, even simply whether he should have been selected for this current Socceroos squad. He hasn't really been performing at a good enough level for Melbourne City, but he was heavily involved on that left-hand side, getting a lot of the ball. He had a couple penalty shouts in that first half as well. There was 2 different times where he went down in the box. I think the first one potentially could have been given. He looked like he was tripped up. But the goal for the Socceroos did finally come after half an hour. And of course, it was the man who loves scoring goals at Amy Park, Jamie Maclaren. And I said it in a podcast leading up to this game that Jamie Maclaren has to start up front in this game for the Socceroos, purely because they're playing the game at Amy Park. Jamie Maclaren knows where the back of the net is at Amy Park down in Melbourne, and he did it here to find the back of the net. Fantastic cross from Tom Rogic to find the head of Jamie Maclaren. And we double the lead late on in the first half. It was Matt Leckie. His best contribution of the game was that through ball for Tom Rogic. On that counter-attack, Rogic was in behind and a fantastic finish to make it 2-0 for the Socceroos. So it was important that we went into the halftime sheds with a decent advantage. If it was 0-0, even if it was just 1-0, maybe slightly nervy, in terms of, especially considering how Vietnam performed in the second half. They really got themselves back into it, and Matt Ryan was called in to action a few times in that second half, making some really good saves. And in that second half, as I mentioned, we did see Vietnam come slowly back into the game. It was important that we injected the substitutes into the game and injected the right ones as well. And we absolutely saw the right players came on, because 2 of them ended up scoring goals. First, Socceroos goals for Craig Goodwin, the Adelaide United man, and Riley McGree, who's currently now playing his football at Middlesbrough. In England, the Goodwin goal, fantastic. The through ball from Matty Ryan from 80 metres out. Goodwin gets on the end of it, and a fantastic little chip over the goalkeeper. Brilliant moment for Craig Goodwin, a player who, in my opinion, maybe deserves to be starting on the left wing ahead of someone like Matt Leckie. And just a few minutes later, Riley McGree, a player who has a lot of excitement building around him, especially with the recent move to Middlesbrough in the English Championship. There feels like there's a lot of positive energy around Riley McGree, and he showed his quality coming off the bench and making an instant impact. Fantastic goal, finding the space around the defender with his right foot, his weak foot, to a perfect finish into that bottom corner. Fantastic stuff from the substitute. So from there, it was 4-0 and the win was done and dusted. Important as well in this game that I think that we scored a multitude of goals, especially when we look at how the group is standing now at the moment. It's important that it could come down to goal difference when it comes to the end of things. Looking at how the ladder stands now, it is Saudi Arabia sitting on top, Japan in second place. They both won their qualifiers overnight. Australia still in third place, but just 1 point behind Japan. But the good news is, the Socceroos goal difference now stands at 9, Japan's at 4, and Saudi Arabia on 7. So out of the top 3 teams in the group, Socceroos are currently leading the way in terms of goal difference. That could be the difference come the crucial qualifiers later on this year in March as we take on those 2 top teams. Well, look, overall, really satisfied with the performance in this game and just stoked with the result. For my 3-2-1 votes, I'm going to go 3 for Tom Rogic. He was just an absolute beast in midfield. He is our key player in the middle of the park for the Socceroos at the moment. I'm going to give 2 points to Sydney FC left-back Joel King. Again, another one of those players who raised eyebrows when he was announced for Socceroos selection. He hasn't necessarily been having the best season so far with the Sky Blues in the A-League, but he was fantastic in this game. He was getting forward, playing crosses in, and defensively sound as well. And then I'm going to give 1 point for Matt Ryan. A couple really crucial saves there. Fantastic one as well from point-blank range where he just got his shoulder up to save it. In games like this, it's important who Matty Ryan, who spent large chunks of this game not touching the ball at all, he stepped up when he needed to in order to preserve that, not only the clean sheet, but to preserve the goal difference for us. So we now look ahead to Wednesday morning as we take on Oman in the next qualifier, a crucial game. All of these games are super, super important, so we need to win regardless of other results across the group. We did beat Oman last year 3-1 in the previous qualifier against them. Let's hope we can do it once again here. Thanks for checking out this Socceroos review. If you have enjoyed the video, feel free to hit like. It does help me out a lot. And if you want to stick around for more Australian football news, whether it is the Australian national teams or the A-League, make sure you hit subscribe.